Okay, so we were reading. Homage to all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. Then it says, thus have I heard at one time. And yes, I learned that there are only 8 days. I thought somehow I got a feeling that we had 10 days together. Okay, thus I've heard at one time. And this line is again considered very important for the reason that the teachings of the Buddha should not be altered, should be maintained in its authenticity, for the reason that we, the ordinary beings, when we try to say something, and then okay, so in other words, in short, that what the Buddha taught, that is something so pure. Even the words, what words the Buddha used, and the order of the words, and the concepts, they are so important. These are all set just to suit the temperaments and the predispositions of the sentient being. So therefore, with ordinary beings, if you don't, say, in the process of like translation, or in the process of conveying, for example, like after the Buddha assumed Mahaparinirvana. Mahaparinirvana meaning, in simple terms, the demise. But for the Buddha, there's no demise, there's no death. But then at the age of the 81, if you look at the history, we see that the Buddha assumed Mahaparinirvana, or passing away. And what is this if there's no passing away to the Buddhas? This is a question. And this is one thing that we need to learn. Okay, the senior ones, how would you respond to this question? Buddha, there's no passing away. But then at 81, when the Buddha reached age 81, he assumed Mahaparinirvana, meaning passing away. How do you reconcile these two ideas? Anyone raise hands? Okay, this is Shirla. This is Shila. To teach impermanence, but then there's always contradiction. Say the Buddha, there's no passing away, and he assumed passing away. So anyone raise hands? Raise hands. Yes.
So Buddha is basically our mental state, not in physical form, so that can't pass away.
But he assumed passing away at 81. At 81, he left the world.
I think I didn't get the question.
Huh?
I think I didn't get the question.
The question is, say there's superficially there's a contradiction. On the one hand, we said that not only we said, the text says that Buddha, when you become a Buddha, there's no passing away. In other words, there's no death. On the other hand, Buddha Shakyamuni assumed the passing away at the age 81. So how do you reconcile this? Okay, Marisala. So there's no passing away. Okay, Ishilhamala.
Usually, I think Buddha was trying to give the message of one of the four C's. All opposite things are impermanence.
Who said? So like what Tenzi Ishila is saying, impermanence, to demonstrate impermanence. But the Buddha, there's no passing away. And so the Buddha passed away at age 1. So how do we reconcile this? For Buddha, there's no body dies. Body dies means passing away. Okay, the Dr. Tanujaji.
So, Buddha is an omniscient mind, and he is the influence is called Ara. So, body may have passed away, but
body no passing away. If it's a body passing means passing away, right? Okay, Vijayala, Manla, nothing. Vijayala, yes.
The Buddha should be expect passing away. And on another level, we can say that there is passing away, but there's no intrinsic.
Okay, so Buddha passed away indeed, this is what he's saying. Okay, Manla. This is a very important question, extremely important question. The Manla.
Maybe we can distinguish between the historical account of Buddha and also the sort of uncommon biography of Buddha. And so Buddha actually is just a enlightened being with conditioned mind. And the Buddha actually manifests in different forms to benefit the beings. And so I think Buddha Shakyamuni is a manifestation of Buddha in a human form, and then going through all the different beings, and also demonstrating the passing away, which is something.
It's not actually passing away, it's demonstrating.
Demonstrating the passing away to demonstrate it.
But then the get better, is it better that the Buddha didn't demonstrate it? Still today alive, that'd be even better.
Because that is the human condition.
Huh?
That's the human condition.
That's what I'm saying. In the human condition, he can continue.
No.
Why not?
In manifesting.
So human condition, there's rule. 81, then go.
Not this one, but the human will be born and they will pass away. So he will be showing that he is passing away. If he certainly lives to 900 years, then I think everybody will be so amazed, right? But it doesn't happen.
So what do you mean by say he passed away?
No, the Buddha doesn't pass away, but there is this form.
Form passed away.
Human body.
Form passed away.
Yes.
Form doesn't have the capacity to live long. It doesn't have the capacity to live eternally.
Because in the human body.
Okay, gentleman over there, your name?
Ravi.
Ravi, yes.
Sir, as the text says, while he was leaving his body, so his disciples started crying, or they were getting very sad. So in that case, it's not like that. They should stop there. The Dharma and the teaching, and the people should realize themselves inside them that they are the potential Buddha or the potential Dharma should be spread. And also, it's symbolic to his teaching that eventually everyone has to grow old. Eventually, everyone has to suffer. Even Buddha suffered during his death. So it's like kind of symbolic to his teaching that whatever we will do, we have to pass the certain stages. And in order to, I think.
Okay, so which means the Buddha has to suffer. So it's passing away. It's literally passing away. Okay, so what I'm saying is, it says somebody who can reconcile the two concepts. On the one hand, there's no passing away to the Buddha. When you become a Buddha, anybody is about there's no passing away. On the other hand, the Buddha Shakyamuni assumed passing away at the age of 31. Okay, Tenzin Samsang La.
Reconcile these two facts by using the two truths.
If there's a mic, that'll be good.
Hello, Geshe.
Yes.
I think we can reconcile these two facts by considering the two truths, the ultimate and conventional levels. So ultimately, once we become a Buddha, we abide in the wisdom of perfection, which is the wisdom of emptiness. Thus, we do not arise, we do not pass, there's no ceasing, arising, all this. Conventionally, though, even the Buddha manifests the appearance of conventionality for mundane beings. And part of that is the law of cause and effect. So because Buddha Shakyamuni demonstrated the birth and the appearance of being born into this world as Prince Siddhartha, then he also, as the effect of being born, showed the appearance of
So in a way,
dying.
passing away is there.
Conventionally, in the conventional level.
Of course, anything exists, it should be conventionally. Nothing ultimately exists. So conventional Buddha passed away.
Showed the appearance of passing away.
Okay, maybe the last Benla, Tenzing Sela.
So, Geshe-la, I'll try. I think in order to really reconcile these two, you need to study about the Buddha bodies.
Say it again.
I think to really reconcile these two, you need to study about the Buddha bodies.
Yes.
So,
okay. So we need to know the concept of the Buddha bodies, 5 Buddha bodies and so forth to answer this fully. Okay, Alhamdulillah.
I agree with Ben Geshe that...
okay, so henceforth don't say I agree with this, I agree with that. You're getting it? You just say presentation.
So,
say, I just said that, okay, it's because 2 plus 3 equals 10. 2 plus 3 equals 10. I just said it. Oh, I agree with the Griji. Don't say that. 2 plus 3 equals 10. Yes.
So when someone becomes Buddha, so he attains Buddhakaya and Dharmakaya. And for Rupakaya, there are 2, Nirmanakaya and Sambhogakaya. So Buddha form which manifests in the Nirmanakaya, he goes through the 12 deeds. So, but Sambhogakaya, Buddha body does not go through the...
Okay, Sambhogakaya doesn't pass away. Nirmanakaya passes away. Is what you're saying? Passing away. Okay, so I thought that something comes out. Okay, Jigmela.
Okay. Check. Without mic is better.
No, with mic. Everybody has to hear you. Yes.
On mic I'll share.
Yes. Yes.
Buddha means like it's not about like only one person. Buddha is in everyone. So everyone like can be a Buddha. And plus
okay,
Buddha
so
Shakyamuni
is Buddha.
Yeah, we can become Buddha nature.
Buddha. You're not Buddha.
Not now, like Buddha nature we all have. So when Buddha Shakyamuni died, before he parinirvana, he talked with Anand. So he said like, if I want to live, I can live like eons of here.
Yes, that's amazing.
Yeah. And Anand didn't understand what he mean by, so he left it. Then Buddha says like, yeah, even if I die, like in Om, like there's a body-mind speech. The Buddha speech is still here with us. Yeah.
Body disappeared.
Physically
passed away.
Not biologically, it's like dismantled. But like still like his speech with us. And
yes,
and we have a Buddha nature. So okay. Buddha is basically not only indicate to one person who died. The Shakyamuni or Siddhartha, he passed away. The Buddha
passed away. Okay. Okay. So now I'm expecting some answers from you. Okay. Maybe last. Okay. Let's say first Vishingla, and then you. Your name? Okay, first Vishingla, then Abhishek.
So when the Buddha achieved enlightenment, he attained the 2 bodies, the Dhammakaya, which is basically the omniscient mind of the Buddha, and the Rupakaya, which is the form, the physical form of the Buddha. And Rupakaya can be divided into 2, Sambhogakaya, which is always present, always there, it never passes away. And Rupakaya is what happens for the Nirmanakaya, what happens is that it's like the moon in the sky. When there's a body of water, then the moon, reflection of the moon is there. So the body of water is like our karma to have the Buddha descend to this world to receive from the Buddha. So when our karma or collective karma dries up, the pond of water dries up, then the reflection of moon will no longer be there.
Okay, this is amazing. Thank you, Vishangla. Okay, now Abhishek.
So, sir, first of all, when Buddha got enlightenment, he got nirvana. But after leaving his body, he got the ultimate nirvana, which is parinirvana.
Okay.
So leaving his body and everything, he was there. The Buddha nature was there, but his body he left after attaining ultimate nirvana. So that's what for me is passing away of Siddhartha Gautama. Passing away, like attaining the ultimate nirvana.
When he left the body.
Leaving his body, but showing the everything
left the body.
Yeah.
So what we said is, can you reconcile the 2 things? One is, on the one hand, that the Buddha never passes away. On the other hand, Buddha assumed passing away at the age of 81. How do you reconcile the two? Okay, so with this, I see that there are many of you who like to attempt. So they are, what is important is that, as Manla said, we need to know the biography of Buddha on two levels. One, as per the historical account, how the historians would treat the Buddha as any other young prince, and then who became enlightened, and then he lived for 81 years and became a great teacher. Then he left the world. This is a historical account of the Buddha. There's a real biography of the Buddha also, real biography, truly, in true sense, as Jigmela came up with this fact. So fact is very important. Fact is very important. For example, Jigmela, what he said is that Buddha told Ananda before the Buddha assumed parinirvana, saying that if I'm to live eternally, I can live eternally. But did mention this. Did mention this. And then the Ananda, he was a little confused. And then later on, when Ananda, then Buddha assumed parinirvana, and of course, then later on, Ananda was subjected to penalty by the Mahakashyap, who was the first heir to the Buddha. And the Ananda was put a penalty on the basis of 10 acquisitions. 10 acquisitions. These facts, we have to learn these facts. Then the biography of the Buddha will become something, you will have a command over the Buddha's biography. Otherwise, somebody says like this, then you say, but then we get confused. So, what you find in most of the texts, common texts, they are according to historical account. And the Buddha became sick, then the Buddha suffered. These are all historical account. These are like the display like a drama. In the drama, a very healthy person can act as a sick person. It's not a sick. But the ordinary people watching the audience will say, oh, now he becomes sick, she becomes sick. Actually, it's not a sick. So now this is the historical account of the Buddha's biography, which you normally see as a historical account. And once in a while, the Buddha utters the real capabilities, his real potent powers he once in a while reveal. For example, like what Jigmela said, that Buddha indicated to Ananda, if there's somebody make a request, I can live for eternally. So this is what Buddha uttered. And also that the Buddha does not have the illness, sickness, and so forth. This is also demonstrated. But if you look at the biography, you see that, Buddha finally ate a stale food, then he became sick, and that is the cause of the passing away. So these are all the demonstrations, displays. So what happened was that for example, in the what is that, Bodhisattva? That Bodhisattva, lay Bodhisattva, Vimalakriti. Bodhisattva Vimalakriti, if you read his account, then you will see some of the elements of the Buddha's qualities, which the ordinary people cannot understand. And what happened was that the Bodhisattva Vimalakriti, he himself, these anecdotes are very important. These contain very important messages which usually we don't find. Once he became sick, and he is a very advanced Bodhisattva, the advanced level of the Bodhisattva path. He became sick, and he was sick, let's say, in a place A, and the Buddha is in place B. And he was expecting Buddha to send somebody, representative of the Buddha, to console him, to inquire about his health. And then the Buddha, when giving teachings, Buddha, through clairvoyance, he sends what's going in the mind of Bodhisattva Vimalakriti. And the Buddha declared, okay, the Bodhisattva Vimalakirti, he is sick. Is there anybody who likes to go to inquire about his health on my behalf? Then the Buddha asks, and nobody volunteered. Why? Because Bodhisattva Vimalakirti is very complicated. Very complicated, meaning extremely brilliant. And before you come, you should make sure that you are ready to have the shield to answer any question that he can ask. You're getting it? And he's a brilliant Bodhisattva. Amazingly intelligent Bodhisattva. Then nobody volunteered. And the Buddha asked, nobody volunteered. Finally, Buddha was identifying each of the participants there. Why don't you go? And everybody has some anecdote to share, incident to share, how Bodhisattva, the Vimalakirti, they asked him or her question, and then he became like a small child, right? So therefore, I cannot go as your representative there. In front of him, I'm like a small child. Then the Buddha asked Ananda, who was the chief attendant of the Buddha. And Ananda has his own story. He said that, I cannot go. One time, when the Tathagata was sick, look, Tathagata was sick meaning suffering. When Tathagata was sick, I went to get some medicines from the town early morning, and then Bodhisattva Vimalakirti, from distance, he called me, Venerable Ananda, what are you doing? You are a monk. How come that you are going to the town early morning? And then he turned back and he saw Bodhisattva Vimalakirti. Bodhisattva Vimalakirti, I came here to look for medicines for the Tathagata. And the Bodhisattva Vimalakirti said that you are bringing such embarrassment to us. Our Tathagata cannot become sick. He's Tathagata. He is freed of all the flaws. He has no sickness. Go back. Go back to the monastery, right? Don't roam around, right? Don't roam around. Go back, right? Like a small child. Then Ananda left. You getting it? So what I'm saying is that these are the anecdotes you find, not in a form of one compilation, but you do find these anecdotes where the Buddha's true qualities are indicated. And they are amazing qualities. They are the anecdotes of the anecdotes. Okay, so what I'm saying is that how to reconcile these two things is that which the Vicheng La very beautifully stated, say the Buddha, all the appearance, when you become, don't just think of the Buddha Shakyamuni. Buddha Shakyamuni, we are very fortunate. It is his era. Today is the Buddha Shakyamuni's era, that the beings who are born in this era, we're connected with Buddha Shakyamuni. Only things that we need to know that this is the era that the Buddha appeared to help us. And if you don't take advantage of that, that is our problem. That is not the Buddha's problem. So whereas whatever we are learning, somehow we came from the Buddha Shakyamuni. Then when you become a Buddha, anybody becomes a Buddha, any manifestation is purely for the benefit of sentient beings. Purely for the benefit of sentient beings. Even a breath that he takes. So even a display as a young boy or young girl or whatever display is all purely for the benefit of sentient beings. And how much the beings benefit is not 100% from the side of the Buddha. You agree? It's like the sound of a clap, like this. Sound of a clap, it cannot be like sound of a clap with one hand. It should be two hands coming. So the Buddha's power and the sentient being's karma combined together, then the benefits erupt in the form of the sound of clap. So which I said. So the point is that whether we see the Buddha or not, so the Buddha is always there. Always there. For example, like say, if we have the karma, as Vijayana said, if we have the proper karma, here we see, we say, oh, there's Aramanjushri there. We don't say this. What do we say? There's a statue of Aramanjushri. We don't say there's a Aramanjushri there. But if your karma is pure, you will see that this, what we see as a statue, will actually teach you, give teachings in the form of Sambhogakaya give teachings. It's a living Adamajishri. But for us, we see this as a statue. So, and they say how we get the benefit is entirely on the basis of your karma and the Buddha's power. So, in one important text, it is said that the Buddha's the activities to benefit the beings is like the rain shower, the rain showered by the King of Rains. And whether there's going to be germination of the seed or not, it entirely depends on the seed. Where there's a seed, it'll germinate into sprout. Where there's no seed, even if the rain shower and the rain of God, the God of rain showers the rain equally to all the places. Where there's a seed will germinate. Where there's no seed, there's no difference. So this is a metaphor given. So with this in mind, from our side, we need the seed. What kind of seed? We need to have the pure karma to receive the benefit of the Buddha. So when we have this pure, this pure karma, when that exhausts, so it is like the reflection of the moon in the water. Moon is up there in the sky, and the moon will not say that, okay, now you are not irrelevant, you are irrelevant, so I will not show reflection on your water. From your side, you have to create the water body. Then the moon up there will automatically, moon up there, and you're creating the water body together, then the reflection of the moon comes into being. So, but when your water dries up, even if the moon is there, the reflection will disappear. It doesn't mean that the moon is gone. The moon is still there. That you reaping the benefit of seeing the beautiful moon in the water, that disappears because your water body disappears. The karma of the water body disappears. So they say, because the Buddha is always the Buddha Shakyamuni, and any Buddha, when you become Buddha, you will forever remain. So the point is that even though you are there as a Buddha, but then those people whose karma exhausts, they will see that there's no Buddha. Buddha passes away. In actuality, in other places where the Buddha, where the karma is still there, and the Buddha is so alive, giving teachings, all these things happen. So, for example, and the Buddha also manifests in different forms. One time, Ananda. It said that the Buddha's qualities, the Buddha's qualities enumerated, they are not really accounted for in the historical accounts of the Buddha, because these are beyond the historian's comprehension. So one of the qualities of Buddha is that when the Buddha gives teachings, Buddha does not require microphone. Buddha does not require microphone. No matter how far you are, if you have the karma to hear the Buddha's teachings, you will hear the teaching of the Buddha with the same volume as the people who are nearby the Buddha are hearing. So you will hear the same teaching. And this is one of the qualities of Buddha. And Ananda wanted to check it. Ananda wanted to test it. So what luckily Ananda has a miracle power. And Ananda is considered as the one with the greatest of the miracle power amongst all the disciples of the Buddha. So what he did was, while the Buddha was giving teaching, he started to move away from the site, from the venue where the Buddha is giving the teaching. He started to go away. And because he's karmically connected with the Buddha very strongly, he could hear the Buddha's teachings at the same volume of the voice, same volume, clarity. And then he started to withdraw from that side, and he started to go away from the planet Earth. Still he could hear the Buddha's teachings. Then he ended up in a strange world system. Say, if you are in Delhi, India Gate, from there, if you go away from India Gate, it's very easy. Go away and then coming back to India Gate, that's difficult. But if you come with me, you'll not get there. You're getting it? You only know Tibet House and Lajpat Nagar. So what I'm saying is that going away from India Gate is easy, but once you're gone, then from there coming back to India Gate, located precisely, that's difficult. How many can imagine that? Raise hands. If you cannot imagine that, oh, that's true. Going away from India Gate is very easy. Going away randomly, you end up somewhere. But from that somewhere, then coming back to India Gate is very difficult. You need to have the GPS, right? Or what? GPS, right? Google Map. You need something without which you cannot get there unless you know the place so well. So Ananda, what happened was that he withdrew from planet Earth. He ended up in a very strange world system. Very strange world system, where he saw the monks there, and the monks, the monastics, their size is like 400 times our size. And these monks, they see a very tiny monk there, so cute. And they start to play with Moggaliana. Oh, sorry, it was not Ananda, it was Moggaliana, like this size, yes. Very tiny size. And these monks, they were playing with the Moggaliana, thinking that he's just a, dwarf, tiny, cute monk. And there was a Buddha also. And the Buddha told these monks that, hey, don't play with this guy. This guy is a very dangerous person. This guy is somebody who has incredible... Okay, do you want to show this? Not Ananda, Moggaliana. Moggaliana, sorry. I made a mistake. Moggaliana. Okay, then the Buddha said that don't play with this monk. He came from the planet Earth, where the Buddha Shakyamuni exists. And then he is the one with the greatest of the miracle powers of the disciples of the Buddha Shakyamuni. Then this Buddha indicated to Moggaliana that, okay, now you perform the miracle. And then he performed the miracle. He manifests himself 400 times the size of these monks. 400 times the size of this monk. And finally, this Buddha asked Moggaliana, well, now tell me, what for you have come here? What can I do for you? The Buddha asked. And the Moggaliana said that I don't need anything. I just came here to check the accuracy of the claim, one of the qualities of the Buddha, which said that Buddha's teachings will be heard by the person without the microphone. You can hear this teaching wherever you are, with the same volume and same clarity. You can hear this. I just came to check it, and I arrived in this place. So what can I do for you? And Moggaliana said, please take me back. It's easy to come somewhere, but from the somewhere to get to where I came from is difficult. So his magical power does not have the capacity to take him back to the same place. So the Buddha said, I am Buddha Shakyamuni. That Buddha, who is 400 times our size in that planet, he said, I am Buddha Shakyamuni. And that Buddha simply snapped, and he instantly reached there on the planet Earth. So what I'm saying is that for the Buddha, there's no passing away. So our not seeing, our seeing him as passing away is all because that the water body of your own karma, on which the reflection of the moon is to be created, when this water body dries up, the reflection will disappear. It's not that the moon is gone. Moon is still there. You're getting it? So this is the unique biography of the Buddha, not the historical account. Historical account, Buddha became sick, he passed away at age 81, and everybody crying. All these things are according to the historical account. So this is how we resolve this, or reconcile these two things. Okay, sorry. Okay, now we read. Thus have I heard in one time. So this in a way, this line is to tell us not to dilute the Buddha's teachings. Keep Buddha's teachings as it is. Thus I have heard, meaning that these are all compiled later. But during the Buddha's time, no teachings of Buddha, they are written. There's no record, the written record of the Buddha's teachings at the time of the Buddha. And later they are compiled. They were compiled in the first council. First council meaning all the monastics, arahats, they all come together, headed by Mahakashyap. Then the Ananda and Upali. So these three took the main role to compile the teachings of Buddha, the first council. So it says that thus I've heard at one time. It's not that I'm exaggerating. It's not that I'm adding my own words, my concepts, but rather this is what I heard. I'm just passing down what I heard. And these arahats who actually are involved in doing the what is that? The compiling the teachings of Buddha, they have what is known as the photographic memories. Photographic memories. What do you mean by that? In the photograph memory, this is the contemporary word, but the actual word is chugyung a meditative concentration to hold the lineage of the teachings, hold the lineage of the Buddha's teachings, meaning that you hear it once and it is imprinted that you will not forget it. So they get this power. When you reach for the Bodhisattva path, when you reach the path of accumulation, the first part, Gade, the first Gade. When it's a Gade, the first Gade has three divisions, small, middle, and the great. When you reach the great of the path of accumulation, the first part, then you get that power. Then UPSC is very easy. Hey, how many of you are sitting for the UPSC exams? Resents? Sitting or trying, attempting, preparing, resents? Okay, the exams. So if you have this and the meditative concentration, if you reach the path of the accumulation, Bodhisattva path of accumulation, the first of the five, the first one, 3 levels, small, middle, and great. When you reach the great, you automatically get this power to remember all what you heard it once, you remember. It's photographic. You get it imprinted. It is deeply ingrained in your memory. You will not forget it. So this is something which is very important in order to replicate the Buddha's teachings, to say that this is teaching which the Buddha gave, because you are not adulterating the Buddha's teachings. Okay, thus have I heard at one time. The Bhagavan is the Buddha. The Buddha was residing on the Vulture's Peak mountain in Rajgriha. So the Heart Sutra, which we are going to read from tomorrow, Heart Sutra, we say that it was taught in Rajgir, the Vulture's Peak. How many been to Vulture's Peak? Good. And if you have not been there, never mind. Later on, just take advantage to go there to the main, and the place where the Buddha became enlightened, the Bodhi tree, and then around you go to the Vulture's Peak, which is about like how many hours from the main place? 2 hours, 2.5 hours? 2 hours from Bodh Gaya? 3 hours, depending on which car. Right. Okay, small car, small old cars, and then will take you 3, maybe 4 hours or so. And a little new cars may take you 2 hours. Okay, so I would say take advantage of that. Go to these places, the place where the Buddha actually taught many teachings, gave many teachings there in Vulture's Peak. So here, this also, the Sadhisambhava Sutra was also taught in Vulture's Peak. Just imagine that when you reach there, just imagine that, okay, so here's this place where the Tathagata, the Buddha, who has universal compassion and who could see the ultimate reality in his bare form, and who performed all these miracles, and given teachings on emptiness, which still is so vibrant. And the people who have a karmic connection, who are intelligent, they see the wonder of the emptiness concept. they see that, wow, this is amazing. For example, like the Indian physicist, Professor, I think, Rajaramanan. His Holiness the Dalai Lama, when he was very young, when His Holiness was perhaps in 30s or 40s, when he was giving the teaching on emptiness, this professor, Indian professor, a brilliant physicist, he was also attending. And after the teaching, this professor came to His Holiness, Professor Ramanan, and he came to His Holiness and said that, what you taught, so look, the quantum physics, which just came the last 100 years, and it was already taught by the Buddha 2,500 years ago. What you are teaching now is quantum physics, actually, is what he said. So the brilliant people, they are fascinated. They are really, in a way, I can say that they're mesmerized by the Buddha's teachings on emptiness. So just imagine that this place where this amazing teaching, which impresses all the brilliant thinkers, these teachings were given here. Just imagine that. And the Bhagavan is recited on the Vulture's Peak mountain in Rajgriha with a large sangha of 1,250 bhikshus meaning the monks or the bhikshus, with great many bodhisattva mahasattvas. And bodhisattva, mahasattva, it says that the why this word mahasattva is added. Bodhisattva is good enough. By why the mahasattva is added? Some of the commentaries say that the bodhi means what? Awakening. And awakening can be, say, the personal liberation is also awakening. It's a part of awakening, not full awakening. Buddhahood is a full awakening. Awakening is on all three levels: Sharvaka awakening, Pratik Buddha awakening, and the Mahayana awakening. There are three kinds of awakening, and the Bodhisattva, sattva is the courageous one to go for this awakening. So here, given that there are three kinds of awakening, people may confuse. That awakening may be referring to the Shravakas, Pratik Buddhas commonly. No, to distinguish that, this is the Mahayana awakening. Mahasattva. Mahasattva meaning the great courageous one, greatly courageous. Maha means great, greatly courageous one. Meaning that greatly meaning not only for oneself, for the great number of the sentient beings, all the sentient beings, that makes them great Mahasattvas. At that time, Venerable Shariputra went to the place frequented by, just imagine all the background information so beautifully given there. Just imagine, at that time, Venerable Shariputra, and Shariputra just imagine that how many of you have seen the depiction of the Buddha, be it the statue or the painting, and then on the two sides you see two monks? Raise hands, those who have seen that. And those who have not seen that, raise hands. Those who have not seen that. Okay, so sometimes you just see the Buddha, sometimes you see the Buddha and two monks on two sides. So these two monks, the monk on the right side is Venerable Shariputra. And why Shariputra is very important. Again, and to the left side is Venerable Mugalayana. Who is Mugalayana? The one who tested the Buddha's, the quality of the speech quality. He lived. Now, in other words, Mugalayana is the one who is respected for being the one with the greatest miracle power amongst the Buddha's disciples. Number one. And Shariputra is the one respected for being the most intelligent of the disciples of the Buddha. Let's not forget it. Okay. So, Venerable Shariputra, we do see that Venerable Shariputra is oftentimes coming in the Mahayana Sutras. And Shariputra is actually considered as a Shravaka Arahat. Shravaka means one of those who attained personal liberation. But again, just as the Buddha assumed as Mahaparinirvana, which is like a display. Like with Shariputra, Buddha himself made it very clear in the text that even Shariputra's also, the people, the beings who are around Buddha, they're all some form of manifestations of the high-level bodhisattvas, deliberately assuming the different aspects, like the personal liberation seekers, to inspire the people who, for the time being, only choice is to seek personal liberation. So they see him as a role model, Shariputra. Otherwise, he himself, in reality, is a great bodhisattva. Okay, but he assumed as, we treat him as Sharvaka Arahat. Sharvaka Arahat, not as a bodhisattva. In reality, he's a bodhisattva. Okay. Venerable Shariputra went to the place frequented by the Bodhisattva Master Arimatriya. And Arimatriya is, these are things that we need to know. Arimatriya is the Bodhisattva on the verge to become enlightened, on the verge to become a Buddha, Arimatriya. And he's also referred to as a future Buddha. So at the moment, this is the era of Buddha Shakyamuni. Then at a certain point on this planet Earth, this planet Earth will finally, there's what is known as apocalypse. Apocalypse? What do you? Apocalypse or apocalypse? Okay, apocalypse. Okay, so which means that the world will finish. Okay, world finishes, and this world, and overall in the Milky Way galaxy, how many such solar systems are there? Innumerable solar systems within a single Milky Way galaxy. In Milky Way galaxy, a tiny dot within the visible universe, and universe with the visible universe is a tiny dot within the entire universe. So, let's see, the Buddha's teachings. The Buddha taught that the Buddha's teachings, the overall speaking, it remains very stable. Overall speaking, but in the pockets, in small pockets here and there in the universe, in some places it will be thriving phase, and in other places it's just abiding phase. Still others, degenerating phase will happen. And then this planet Earth, after the Buddha Shakyamuni's the teaching disappears completely, then the next Buddha will come. That is Buddha Maitreya. So this is Buddha Maitreya here, but here he came in the form of a bodhisattva, not as a Buddha. So the next, after Buddha Shakyamuni, then Arimatriya will come as a Buddha Maitreya. So then it's going to be the teachings of the Buddha Maitreya spreading. Bodhisattva Mahasattva Maitreya, and after they had exchanged courtesies upon meeting each other, they both sat down on a flat rock. Okay. Venerable Shariputra then said to the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Maitreya, here today the Bhagavan, now Shariputra is just conveying this to Arimatriya. Here today the Bhagavan, gazing at a rice seedling, when the Buddha was passing by a rice field, just gazing at the rice seedling, spoke this aphorism. Aphorism is like a statement. Made a statement. What statement the Buddha made to the bhikshus? Bhikshus meaning the monastics, or the bhikshus, bhikshunis. Bhikshus the male, and the bhikshunis the female. Bhikshus, whoever sees dependent arising sees the Dharma. Whoever sees the Dharma sees the Buddha. Okay, so this is a very important statement. Let's not forget it. In Tibetan, Su Tenjin Tawar Chomba Tongate Chö Tong, Su Chö Tongate Sangye Tong. This is the Tibetan form. And in English, whoever sees dependent arising or dependent origination, dependent origination mean the same as a matter of translation. Whoever sees dependent arising sees the Dharma, and whoever sees the Dharma will see the Buddha. This is what the Buddha said. Having said this, the Bhagavan fell silent. So this is all what Shariputra is narrating to Arimatriya. Having said this, the Buddha fell silent. Maitreya, what is the meaning of this aphorism spoken by Sugata? Sugata meaning the Buddha. Sugata, what is exactly the meaning of Sugata? It means somebody who has gone to the ultimate bliss. the bliss of purity, perfect purity, which means that independent, without dependence on any external factors, remove the mental dirt, then the bliss, of purity manifests in its infinity. So that is a Sugata. And having said this, the Bhagavan fell silent. Maitreya, what is the meaning of aphorism spoken by the Sugata? What is dependent arising? Number one, these are the questions. This is how we would also ask. And Shariputra was asking these questions to Maitreya. And having said this, the Bhagavan fell silent. Maitreya, what is the meaning of this aphorism spoken by the Sugata? What is dependent arising? What is dependent origination? Number one, when the Buddha said, whosoever sees dependent origination will see the Dharma. What does it mean by dependent origination? What does it mean by Dharma? What does it mean by whosoever sees Dharma will see the Buddha? What does it mean by Buddha? And then how? By seeing dependent origination, one will see the Dharma. And how? By seeing the Dharma, one will see the Buddha. How? All these questions were asked in detail. Okay. Having said this, the Bhagavan fell silent. Maitreya, what is the meaning of this aphorism spoken by the Sugata? What is dependent arising? What is the Dharma? What is the Buddha? How does one see the Dharma by seeing dependent arising? And how does one see the Buddha by seeing the Dharma? Okay. Then the Bodhisattva Mahasatva Maitreya, Maitreya then replied to the Venerable Sharadvatiputra. By the way, for your information, this is very important, that the Buddhist teachings, for example, here we see that this is classified as a sutra, Noble Mahayana Sutra. Sutra can have many connotations. Say, in Buddhism, you find the word sutra, and in Hinduism also. Hinduism meaning in those days, there's no Hinduism. It is like Vedanta, Samkhya, Mimamsaka, Vaisheshik, Nyaya. So these traditions were there. So in these traditions also, you find the word, a sutra, yes. So in the Buddhist context, the sutra has several connotations. Anyone who likes to share with us what is meant by sutra? What are the different shades of meaning of sutra in the Buddhist context? Anyone? It's very important because that we're together here for like 8 days, and these small details, particularly the seniors, you have to have these details. Anyone? What is meant by sutra? Whatever you have heard, okay, this is Biala. Okay, Buddhist scriptures, the books. Okay, so this is not a sutra. Sutra should be flat. Okay.
Philosophy, a Buddhist philosophy, a scripture, I mean that.
A scripture is what? The book or what? Old style books. Okay, anyone else? And direct teachings of the Buddha. Anyone else? Say it again.
Direct teachings of the Buddha as well as words that have been approved by the Buddha.
Okay, and direct teachings of Buddha as well as the words approved by the Buddha. Very good. Anyone else? Sermons of Buddha. Very good. Manda. A sutra, say a sutra in the context of the 3 baskets. Very good. Benla. Same. Sutra as opposed to Tantra. Anyone else? Okay, yes. Sutra as opposed to Shastra. What's Shastra?
The companions that wrote by the teacher master other than the other beings or the teachers other than the Buddhas.
Okay. Very good. Shastras mean more like the commentaries or the commentaries, the teachings composed by the non-Buddhas but advanced the the teachers, or based on the Buddha's own teachings, Shastras. Very good. Okay, so we all, from what you gave the answers, we see that, broadly speaking, the sutra in the Buddhist context can be understood on three different, I want to say three types, I wouldn't say levels, three types. One, all the teachings of the Buddha are referred to as the sutras. Number one, this is one understanding. And if you know these three different understandings, then your job is not to mix up the truth, mix up these three things. That somebody talks about a sutra, but don't just suppose. Don't just come with your own supposition that he means this, she means this. You getting it? You have to listen, be a very good listener. What the other person is referring to. One understanding is sutra in the context of all the Buddha's teachings. All the Buddha's teachings, direct teachings of Buddha, direct teachings meaning actual teachings of Buddha, they are the sutras, number one. Number two, that as Manla said, that all the teachings of Buddha classified into three categories. You remember? When did we do that? This morning, not last retreat. This morning, right? Okay, but the others, maybe you've done it in the last retreat, right? This is, okay, impression that you're giving me. Okay, I understand, it's 12:30. yeah. Some are yawning, some eyes are almost closing. So it's 12:30, I understand it. Okay, so the one is this morning what we said is that all the teachings of the Buddha classified in three groups. One is Vinaya basket, three baskets. Three groups refer to the baskets. The baskets contain the fruits or the contents, whatever you put, the contents. All the teachings of Buddha, they convey some message, their contents. And these contents are grouped into three. They're put into three different containers. So technically, they are known as the three baskets, Tripitak, three baskets. In Tibetan, Dinesum, three baskets. The first basket is known as Vinaya. Second basket is known as Sutra. Third basket is known as Abhidhamma. So here the sutra connotes the teaching, set of the teachings of Buddha, whose primary subject matter is meditative concentration. Thank you. Let me repeat it. The sutra in the context of the three baskets, where the sutra is a set of the teachings of Buddha, whose primary content matter, whose primary subject matter is meditative concentration. This is the sutra. It's the second understanding, second version of the meaning of sutra. Then number three, as Ladron said, sutra as opposed to tantra. You're getting it? Sutra as opposed to tantra. They say the sutra is like the raw materials to manage you, and the tantra is like to use these raw materials and then expedite the process. Okay, they are say with the water, you water tap, then you attach some machine there and to make the water very powerful. You know that? Brother TPO, you use that? Water jet, you use that? Yes. So what is water jet? Explain this to the young ones.
You fix a nozzle that can compress the pressure of the...
Then if you give the water, new water comes or no new water? It's the same water, right? Only thing is that it will give the pressure. So likewise, the sutra is the normal water or the raw materials. Gives the pressure, meaning to expedite the process. To expedite the process, for example, some people they cook food, delicious food, but they take a long time. For a small pancake, it takes 2 hours. Some people, whereas some people for pancake, it's just 15 minutes finished. You're getting it. Some people they're so fast in cooking food. Some people they're very slow. Outcome is same. One is fast, one is slow. But even though you are fast, you need the basic requirements, basic necessary ingredients. Yes, no? Some people, they think that they can go tantra without sutra, without ingredients, without the rice and what? The flour, vegetables, masala, nothing. They cook food very fast. Right? This is not possible. So without sutra, tantra makes no sense. Some people, they think, oh, we are following the tantra, you are following sutra. Sutra is not for us. This is where people are making mistakes. It is self-deception. You're getting it? It is self-deception. So the sutra as opposed to tantra, meaning that tantra is just what? To help us to expedite the process, which means to expedite is, say, morphine, doctor? Morphine, good. So the morphine is not recommendable to the normal pains. Not recommended. Okay, because it can kill you. Right? Which is safer? Ride a bicycle or ride a rocket? Which is faster? Rocket, you're getting it? With a rocket, you can, from here, you can reach Japan very quickly. By rocket, maybe in few minutes, you'll reach Japan. By cycling, it'll take you aeons. But with the rocket, a small pebble, if somebody hits a small pebble to a rocket, will burst. You're getting it? If you're cycling, small pebble hits, it doesn't matter. You still cycle, right? Small pebble down. So the faster, it is more dangerous. You need to have the skills to maneuver any kind of obstacle, any small obstacle. You should have the skill to maneuver your movement. Whereas when you are running slow, you don't really have to worry about that, right? And even somebody pushes you, you may fall again. You get into the cycle and you, right? Whereas with the rocket, even one pebble can burst and finished. You will never reach Japan. Okay, so this is Tantra. Tantra requires a tremendous mental training to maneuver your mind very skillfully. For example, like who really can do the tantric practice is those people whose sense of awareness is extremely profound and subtle. Every movement you engage in, you're aware of, to the extent that you can manage your own mind even in the dream. So we talked about the what? The dream was a problem? Lack of control. You're getting it? But these people, they can control their dream because they trained the mind to control the dream. So if you reach to that level, and believe it or not, it's amazing. It requires a lot of skill, a lot of intelligence, extremely sharp intelligence and skills. If you don't have it, then say so generally speaking, say with mathematics or physics, let's say, who's better? The one who is doing undergrad and one who is doing PhD. Generally speaking, the one doing PhD is better. You're getting it? Don't say that Albert Einstein when he was undergrad. Don't say that. This is exception. Generally speaking, say those in a PhD, they're way better. So likewise, the thing is that Tantra means you're expected to have completed your undergrad, completed your master's, and then PhD. You're getting it? So where some people without undergrad, without master's, they think that they are doing PhD. This is illusory PhD. Self-deception. Okay. So with this in mind, the sutra has many connotations. How many? In the Buddhist context, there are three. One is all teachings of Buddha in general, number one. Number two, a sutra in the context of the three baskets. What are three baskets? Vinaya, Sutra, and Abhidhamma. So that's something we have to remember. Then the third sutra, as opposed to Tantra. Okay, if you learn these things, you will get confidence. When you speak to other people about sutra and so forth, you will have confidence. Somebody can say something different, right? You will say, no, this is not how, this is not understanding. Sutra means it is a very clear meaning. There are three different meanings. Okay, why I'm sharing this with even the newcomers is the number one, we have these venerables, these venerables and oh, Geshe Samdul, what happens? Okay, so these venerables, they are already studying well, and then fine tuning is required. And then there are many seniors. There are seniors. You are expected to know these details, know these nuances. Okay, good. Okay, so remember this aphorism, which says, okay, afternoon, each one of us, we should be able to say this, the aphorism by heart. What is that? Whosoever sees dependent arising sees the Dharma, and whosoever sees the Dharma will see the Buddha. So the question is, what is dependent arising? What is the Dharma? What is the Buddha? And how, by seeing that the dependent arising, will make you see the Dharma? How, by seeing the Dharma, will make you see the Buddha? Let's not forget it. Okay, we'll stop here. Deyata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasam Gate Bodhisvatyata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasam Gate Bodhisvatyata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasam Gate Bodhisvatyata